Lights, camera, fashion. It's the Mezzo Live with lifestyle expert Jackie Grund. After a successful stint as a blogger and several run-ins with celebrities, Jackie felt the need to offer encouragement and support to help people living in their middle, or as she calls it, mezza of their lives. With the Mezzo Live, now she comes full force, blazing the way for women everywhere who wants to add a little bit of sparkle and a whole lot of spice to their everyday life. Tune in every other Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on uimediaapp.com, WDJY 99.1 FM in Atlanta, WTTA 101.2 FM in Kentucky and Ohio, Facebook Live, Spreaker, and almost all your favorite podcasting platforms. Have something you'd like to say? Maybe a question or even a simple hello? Then give us a call at 678-495-4345 and Jackie will answer you live. It's time to feel sexy in your 60s and reinvent yourself with reviews you can use. And here's Jackie.
Hello, everyone. Hi, it's Jackie Grund with the Mezza, and I'm so happy to be back here again with you. And today we have with us our special guest, NATALIE Straley. So NATALIE is a fitness expert who specializes in circ training and more. And she is also a regular contributor to our blog, mezzareviews.com. And I've been so happy to have her, contribute on that platform as well. So some really great articles. So we also have an article on this segment today if you missed anything. So actually, if you miss one little bit, just go to www.mezzareviews.com. Today we are also going to talk about the future of fitness. You know, we've been through lots this week, and also the pandemic, and coming out of this COVID-19 pandemic. Where has exercise gone? Where is it going? And we're going to be kind of diving into that as our hot topic. But before we do that, I would like to kind of go over some trends that are emerging that you probably are seeing anyway from being locked up for the last few months, and as we come out of it, and you've probably already been participating in it. So this trend information came from the Elle magazine out of the UK. So the number one trend right now is meditation apps, and any kind of app that you can put on your phone that is going to allow you to basically virtually work out from your home. So the big one again is the meditation app, and very, very important. To do that. I do it every once in a while. It's just great. I probably should do it daily though. And definitely takes you away for a few minutes. The Peloton. I've mentioned Peloton before on the show. I actually use it. I love it. They are amazing. They are working out from their homes right now because they're still in between going back to their studios. And they do a great half hour, 20 minutes, whatever, spin classes that you can do right from your home if you get the bike, and you can actually pay off the payments if you want, if you can't do it all at once. So they've got some great programs out there. They also have treadmills as well. And also they have apps too. So you can, when you do become a Peloton member, you actually get the app on your phone and you can load up all their classes as well. Okay, training outside in the parks. I think you've seen maybe people do that, and they social distance. The tree workout, using the trees and the park benches as your workouts. So definitely head outside and work out with the trees. And now, of course, this is only in England. Taking a tea break with a virtual tea time from Mind Studio in London. So if you feel like you need to take a tea break, you can tune in to the Mind Studio in London. And I love the fact that these virtual workouts can take you all over the world. And Natalie's going to talk about that as well when she comes on. Celebrity workouts online. I follow Goldie Hawn a little bit. She's kind of a little bit in my age group, and she actually is doing a lot of meditation, and she's jumping on trampolines and stuff. So, you can follow some of your favorite celebrities as well as they work out with you. Then we're moving into a boutique environment of gyms. So one of them is a smart boxing gym. And let's see, it introduces punch trackers. So you actually put this little device on your wrist, and you can tells you how intensely you are punching. So it's called smart boxing, and you can do this online basically as well as going into their studio. Dance classes, again, going into a studio, not sure how they're all social distancing, but they are, with more of a Latin beat, is definitely kind of trending. And let's see, two more, the block move classes, emphasis on strength and flexibility. And of course, again, the boutique gyms. There's rowing, there's what NATALIE does, which is Cirque Fitness, and she'll talk to you about that in a few seconds as well. So boutique gyms kind of being a little bit more easy to handle than maybe some of the bigger gyms these days. So now, before we bring NATALIE on, I'd like to say first a quick hello to my friends at WDJY 99.1 FM. Hello, friends from WTTA 101.2 FM in Kentucky and Ohio. You can now watch and listen to all of our exclusive and uncensored content 24/7 at uimediaapp.com. If you have any questions today, want to call in to say hello to NATALIE or I, you can call us at 678-495-4345. Connect with us online. You can also follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spreaker, and other podcasting platforms as UI Media Network. Don't forget to tune in for In the Burbs show with my good friends, Gina Riles and Amy Lyle, every other Wednesday. So they had their show yesterday, so we're on the same weeks at 4 p.m. And they share their experiences with you on a talk show format featuring experts, funny guests, and a live studio audience. And now I just wanted to go a little bit into who NATALIE is, a little bit on her bio. So in 2015, NATALIE transitioned, this will be interesting, from a full-time lawyer and business owner to an award-winning performer, instructor, coach, and fitness competition judge. NATALIE has a combined 20 years of experience in the fitness industry, where she specializes in training athletes and performers in the area of dance, acro, and aerial artistry and choreography. NATALIE also provides traditional classes as well as some online as well these days. NATALIE has spent her quarantine virtually teaching to students all around the world. She can be booked through her Instagram or through her Atlanta-based home studio, Inspire Aerial Arts. Well, welcome, NATALIE, to Mezzo Live. I was going to say In the Burbs, but anyway, welcome to our show today. And, I want to tell everybody, we met in the sauna. Okay, guys. So now you can think whatever you want, but we met sitting in the sauna. We're
wearing clothes.
We were wearing clothes. FYI, girls, whoever's listening and watching, we were wearing our clothes. I came out of the pool sitting in one of the main saunas at Lifetime Fitness. And you were actually sitting in your leotards, right?
I was preparing to train because I had a big performance week, and so it was in my head and in my mind, not preparing to talk to anyone.
Right. Were you wearing your headphones and I interrupted you? I probably did.
You probably did, but that's okay. I'm so glad you did.
And I'm big mouth sitting there talking. I don't know, talking about anything, and then we just started talking about, I don't even remember what we talked about, but it was like, we kind of instantly, a little bit of a connection. And,
sure.
And then here we are, it's just an interesting place to network in the sauna, really.
Kind of like coffee talk, there's sauna talk. And if you frequent a sauna,
Right. Yeah, you're just hanging out. Oh, what are you doing? So my big question, I think a lot of people want to know, how did you become from a lawyer to a Cirque fitness coach, artist, performer?
Right. Yeah, that's a big transition, right? I mean, my parents still ask me once in a while why that happened.
Like, what happened?
Well, first I want to say I love the practice of law. I respect my degree, and I still help people. I do a good deal of volunteer work. But for the most part, I received a really awesome opportunity to perform and travel teach around the United States that I simply couldn't pass up. And I couldn't manage my practice of law while traveling and teaching and performing. So it was just too much to handle.
Into doing that, were you a performer on, way before you went into being a lawyer as well? I mean,
no, actually. I was a competitive gymnast for my entire life and always teaching some level of fitness as a part-time job. But I took an aerial fitness class and my hobby became my profession. So that's pretty much how it unraveled. And what I learned along my journey as I was traveling around the US with my troupe and performing is that I wanted to keep teaching and performing. And, there's a really fantastic author, I'm sure you're familiar with, Maya Angelou. She says, people won't forget.
Yes.
Yeah, she says, people forget what you said and they may forget what you did, but they won't forget how you made them feel. And so when you come to me,
I love Maya Angelou. I do love it. Yeah.
The person who leaves one of my classes is very different than who they are when they first arrive, because we kind of rebuild your mental limitations of what your perceptions are of what you can do. So it's a great journey to be on with people.
What is the Cirque Fitness class like? Because when I met you, I actually was going to go and have my hip replaced. Don't know if I can do that right now. I don't know if it's in my realm, but what is involved in that class? I mean, what do you have to have any capability? Of course you must be able to climb, I guess, a rope or something, or
No, actually, I work with all levels. So I work with anyone from people with actual disabilities, children, adolescents, through adults that are well into their 60s and 70s. And then I do train performers and competitors as well. So you don't have to come with any preset level of skill. I actually prefer adapting people to certain skills. And I like training them from the very beginning. So no, you don't have to. Obviously, you come with a lot of strength and flexibility and high endurance, then you're a little bit ahead of somebody who may not have those things yet. But we condition our students to be able to achieve those things.
I mean, I think we have some pictures of NATALIE on her. You have this at home, this apparatus that you're hanging from?
I do. I for the most part, had run away with the circus until the circus closed down. And so now the circus is in my house.
Right. I mean, how long does a class take? I mean, when you do it, is it an hour? I mean, I teach classes that are anywhere from 60 minutes to an hour and a half. And then depending on the level of expertise, sometimes they do go a little bit longer. But for the most part, you have to get really nice and warm. And then I have to work with people's their mental limitations of what they can do requires a lot of coaching. So there actually is a big verbal element to help people move through some of their issues with feeling uncomfortable, scared of heights, fear of falling. Oh,
So
oh my God.
This is where coaching comes in. And your ability to connect to your consumer and have enough knowledge about what you're doing so that you can actually keep them safe in the sky.
How many people are in a class when you're teaching this type of thing? Do you have
So I actually have for an aerial instructor, I typically have the larger of the classes, typically 10 to 14 people in a class. And we have anywhere 3 apparatuses when you're working with aerial lyra, which is a steel aerial hoop. Aerial silks is a little bit different, and so we have a little bit larger of a class size. But you want to make sure you give people a lot of one-on-one intention, because again, they're doing things off the ground, and people forget their name, their identity, everything about if they have family or kids. As soon as you pull them off the ground, or definitely when they're inverted and upside down, suddenly they've forgotten everything, which is a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is that we forget about our world's problems. It is the biggest, most cathartic experience you can ask for. It is therapy for sure.
Wow.
I encourage everyone to at least try it once. There's no loss in trying it once.
I mean, so even with not a bad hip anymore, I was wondering if I could still do something like that. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I always say, anyone that's coming to me with previous history of injury of any kind, you have to understand, I train a lot of advanced athletes and they are always injured. So we're always having to compensate, including myself. I have 2 permanent injuries that I'm always having to work around. And, so we work around these things. Obviously, we all have our limitations, but they shouldn't prevent us from exploring this particular type of fitness.
Yeah. Well, in a few seconds, we're going to be breaking for a little bit of a commercial. And then when we come back, we are going to talk about the future of fitness, a little bit what NATALIE's doing and what she's been doing during the pandemic, and some other things. So I guess we're going to be breaking in maybe 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds. I never get this right. This will be the last time I'm Zooming from my house, actually. All right. So, yeah.
I empathize.
All right. We'll see you soon. A few minutes.
Okay.
Be back soon.
This is Kurt Arsenault of Arsenault Advisory Group. You just got married, but you may not realize that your money did as well. Is your spouse a spender or a saver? Will you purchase or rent a home? Finances aren't always fun to talk about, but getting on the same page with your partner and having real conversations about your goals will pave the way for a secure future. If you have recently tied the knot, visit arsenaultadvisory.com to download our free ebook titled 7 Smart Money Marriage Tips. Visit arsenaultadvisory.com to get your free ebook today.
Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm back. It's Jackie Grun with NATALIE, and we're here with NATALIE STRALEY of Cirque Fitness. And we are going to now talk about a little bit about during the pandemic. What were you doing? How did you, of course you have that thing hanging in the apparatus is in your place, but you weren't allowed to have people come in and all that. So what did you do with your students during this?
Well, let me say, first of all, I'm not just an aerial instructor. I'm an aerial dance instructor. I also teach contemporary lyrical dance. I'm a strength training instructor, flexibility, and choreographer. So I have a lot of skill sets to offer my clientele. My biggest concern whenever the pandemic hit is I realized in my position as a coach how much emotional support I provide to people that stem from the fitness aspect. So it's not purely fitness for me. There is definitely an emotional element to this. So I immediately was like, how am I going to serve my clients, my consumers to help them? It wasn't even about making a lot of money. In fact, the fitness industry during this critical time made the least money because we all tried to intervene and help out, dropped our class rates. Some of us were teaching $10 classes were ordinarily either $70 and $80 classes. Privates that are normally $140 were $50. So things definitely really changed. My goal was to provide a way for people to feel like they can gain some control over their lives through fitness. It was the one thing we felt like we could control. So much external things were occurring that we had no control over, but we could control how our anxiety to some extent, our depression to some extent, the fact that we had a lot of people were home alone, didn't have spouses or children. And we could do that through fitness. I mean, obviously, staying strong is there's a mind-body connection. It's real. It releases the type of chemicals that can put us in a completely different mental state. Yes. And so these things were very valuable to people. And then on top of it, even though the interface between myself and clients wasn't the same as it was in person, you still felt a self of human connection, which I felt was incredibly important, that they just didn't have to go to take a class with somebody who they had never met before, that they could, you don't know how many times I ended a Zoom call and then stayed on 30 minutes to have a conversation with a long-term student, or somebody who was struggling.
Because it was a lot of depression, right? There was
a lot of trauma. Yes. A lot of trauma and depression for sure.
So you were like psychologist and an instructor as well. My God.
I call that being a coach, because I definitely am a life coach as well. Because there are definite, especially when you deal with an industry where you're putting, to a degree, your life at risk. You're doing things that are inherently dangerous. You want to make sure you're entrusting people around you that are going to help guide you. And there's a lot of times, a lot of experiments I'll do in class that are very emotional for people. And I'll give you an example. I teach a choreography class. And so I had people blindfold themselves to actually dig deep. I won't go through what I did in particulars in the class. But one person in particular experienced a lot of trauma as it pertains to losing her vision. And so that's something that we had to work through. And then it benefited her overall as an artist. But these are the kind of things that come to surface sometimes unexpectedly, and you have to be prepared prepared to handle it.
Wow. So, so what kinds of classes were you doing online actually? What are you currently doing? So what are
Yeah,
so
so
they're all different?
I teach creative, lyrical, and contemporary dance. I'm a trained dance instructor.
Mm-hmm.
I would love teaching dance, especially to people online, because
Mm-hmm.
typically I have I have long-term students, but then I have students who have never had an opportunity to dance or would have been terrified to step into a dance class and felt safe
Right.
taking a virtual dance class because they could just hit end and get rid of me for the
Right.
rest
And
of their
nobody
life. And they
around
felt,
them. Oh,
yes,
look, I'm not doing it like that person. I'm like,
that's right. You don't
you
have to look
know,
to your right or left. Nobody's looking. If I'm like, Betty, right arm up, drop your left hip, nobody's going to run to the screen and find out who Betty is, right?
right.
So you have a level of anonymity. I did have students who blacked out their screen, so they had 100% anonymity because people did
Really?
worry about screen. Yeah, people do worry about screen recording and things like that. And so,
Oh, okay.
um, yeah,
I would
so
love to do one. I always like to dance. And
yeah,
the only thing offered, unfortunately, in one of the other gyms that I went to was a dance class that actually I couldn't do anymore. More of a hip hop kind of movement.
yeah,
And for me, that was hard with the bad hip, and I didn't know with the good
sure,
hip if it would work.
yeah.
But yeah, maybe I can go back and maybe do a dance
That
class.
would be wonderful. And I
Fun.
suggest people too, not just in my classes, that
Yeah,
get out there and dance because
yeah, I
even
love
through
to.
the Atlanta Ballet, there
Yeah.
are so many dance classes that are offered in all different people
Hmm.
just think it's ballet. It's not, they don't just offer ballet classes. Any type of dance class you want to take,
Right.
including hip hop, the
Right.
Atlanta
And
Ballet
I
offers
love the
online right
hip
now.
hop, but I just couldn't move like the rest of them. I
Yeah.
was like, I felt so bad. I go, okay, that's why, because I'm older, I can't do this
Oh no,
anymore.
I took some Gail Hooks classes,
Yeah.
and hip
I
hop
mean, these guys
celebrities.
can move, all these
Yeah.
guys are really good. And I was just like, oh, well, I could just do
Ladies,
that.
Yeah, it's a little
we
bit
have
different.
a Facebook question.
We do?
One of your viewers, they want to know, Natalie, where are you located?
Where are you located, Natalie?
I'm located in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. So,
My studio is in Midtown. It's my primary studio where I teach, if I'm not
yeah,
virtual,
yes.
is in Midtown. If you're interested in taking virtual classes or connecting to me virtually, you can connect to me on Instagram.
Right. So you have to, we're going to give everybody your Instagram address. Well, actually, you can do that now if you want. What is your Instagram?
Sure. It's natalie.circfit and for Circ Fitness. So it's Natalie, NATALIE .CIRQ fitness. That's where you'll find me.
So, girls, do we have that up on the screen for Natalie? Because that would be great. Yes. Okay. All right. Good. I think we do. So, and then you mentioned you were teaching all over the world. So people were tuning in from all over the world. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty fascinating. So I have a great market in Australia, a fantastic Asian market, which I've really loved working with them, and Europe as well. So I feel really fortunate. The studios that I'm aligned with did a great job with marketing me. And, fortunately, I've just taught so much that word really traveled. I didn't do a heavy amount of marketing.
Yeah.
And frankly, I'm just one person. I don't teach, although I do have some pre-recorded classes. I prefer live stream. So I am very, I like to correct people in class and help them so that they can improve their movement and keep them safe. And so I really like to provide a one-on-one experience. And so that I think has kept me very busy. So
that's great.
Yeah,
so worldwide audience, that's amazing what's going on.
And you know what, I have to say this, if that's
sure.
okay. Well, Jackie, I realize more than anything, I really want to say this, is that I've been in more living rooms than you could possibly imagine teaching fitness. And we are all so much more alike than we are different.
Isn't
I just have to say that.
True, right? I mean, you're tapping into all over the world, and really we all want the same things, so to be happy, to love each other, to be in a good mood, which fitness helps that. I'll tell you that. Right. And also, so where do you see the future of fitness? Because that was really the basis of the whole show today. But where do you see us going now? Because, we're still a little scared about getting all together and stuff. So where do you see us going now and next 6 months, a year?
I'm intimidated. I don't think that brick and mortar fitness is going to expire. I think that your big gyms, your big box gyms. I hope they're hiring the proper fumigating or fogging services that can come
Right.
in and do like mass cleansing of their facility. It's a
Mhm.
bit exhausting to step foot into a regular gym. I recently went. You're getting your temperature taken. You
Yeah.
have to clean things before and after. It's so much thought
There's a
going into
lot.
everything.
My God, I know.
Yeah. I highly recommend considering patronizing your smaller boutiques. Check out in advance, call or ask for a line item of
Mhm.
what they're doing to keep you safe. Ideally, they're probably really streamlining their class sizes to keep you safe. And
Mhm.
typically in boutique gyms, people who are going to show up are people who want to keep their environment safe and clean anyway. They have just
Right.
a greater sense of responsibility than a larger institution. I'm not negating any large institutions. I
Yeah,
just
it's
do
just
want to.
harder to manage, I would think.
It
So,
is.
yeah,
It
I think
definitely is.
the optimal word here is small. Small,
Yeah.
boutique, just like what we were talking about.
And
Um,
supplement. So supplement with
yeah.
online training.
Mhm.
Supplement
Supplement,
with.
yeah. And if you're of a certain age and, you do have a pre-existing condition, then virtual is the way to go, especially until we figure this pandemic thing out and this virus. So are there any particular takeaways you want anyone to take away from this whole show and, kind of remember?
Yeah. I think if there was one takeaway in general, because I am a
Mhm.
coach, so I always think along this line, is
Mhm.
great things exist just slightly beyond your comfort zone.
Mhm.
So be willing to take a risk on taking, I believe there's so much sadness in people who are just anxiety ridden right now. Take a
Oh.
risk, take an online class. They're not expensive, $9,
Mhm.
$10. Invest in
Mhm.
yourself.
Right.
Do something that challenges you.
Mhm.
Explore movement that you've never done before. This is the time to do it.
Right.
You may find your next hobby or profession,
Right. You
and
never
you never know.
you never know. Well, thank you, Natalie, for being on with us. And yeah, I just have a few more things just to kind of close us down today. But again, is there any other websites that they can reach you at besides the Instagram, or you have another website, or is that it? That's it, basically
I
the
do not have
Instagram.
another website. It's just
Okay.
Instagram or through Inspire Aerial Arts.
Hmm. Okay. Well, thank you again, and we enjoyed having you on. And maybe I'll take one of those classes. I hope I will definitely be in touch. And especially, I look forward to Natalie does write with us on the Mezza. I'm so happy that you do contribute to us on different things. And we have just a great platform of women. It is a woman's middle-aged woman's based magazine lifestyle blog, and and then of course Mezzo Live kind of takes off from there. So I just love having the fact that you're on with us on that
Thank you for the
platform
opportunity.
as well. Yep, definitely. So I always like to end off our sessions with a fashion tip. So we have our new summer collection also available on mezzareviews.com, and it's called Trend Tokyo. Now, guys, we were going to go to the Summer Olympics. I mean, the entire world just stopped. So that's why we called it Trend Tokyo. And it's from my line that I do represent on the blog called Peach, Gym Work Play line. Actually, I think on In the Burbs yesterday, we had one of the CEOs on. So that was kind of interesting. So it's definitely making headway, this line. And it's definitely virtual too. We have some virtual opportunities to shop. You get on there, you can look at everything as well. And there's some of the big colors for the summer, because unfortunately, if you are heading back to the stores, you'll see that there's not that many. It's still March in there. So lime, watermelon, and great blacks and whites. And I've only have a few more seconds, and I want to mention that I will be bringing on our co-host Nicole Iroff in 2 weeks. She's a New York fashionista and ski instructor to the stars. So she will be joining me on June 18th as my new co-host for Mezza Live, as we take Mezza Live into a little bit more of a sporty girl direction as well. So I look forward to seeing everybody in 2 weeks, and see you next time. Thanks all for tuning in, and please love each other. Peace everywhere. Okay, take care.
That's all the time we have for today. It's true what they say, time sure flies when you're having fun. Please do like, comment, share, and support the show. Go to uimediaapp.com to watch all the Mezza Live shows. Follow UI Media Network online on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and almost all your favorite podcasting platforms to stay updated with our uncensored content. Want to be featured on our show or even sponsor it? Write to us at contact@uimedianetwork.org. We hope you had a wonderful time and that these tips will help you reinvent yourself in the best years of your life. Take care, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Same time, same place. The Mezza Live, only on the UI Media Network. The UI Media Network and its associates take no responsibility for the opinions and statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests.